What is up, guys? It is Mikeman DGBA here, your coach for the West Bromwich Altarias, and I'm here today to bring you the first week of a brand new league on the channel, the DUC, or the Down Under Championship. Now today there is obviously the first week battle. There is no team recap video just because I don't really have time to do it, but I'll do you a quick overview of the team that we have, and it's a team that I'm really happy with. To kick us off, we have Zygarde 50%, we have Milotic, we have Gardevoir, we have Dhelmise, we have Sigilyph, we have Stunfisk, we have Mega Scizor, we have Infernape, we have Conkeldurr, we have Garbodor, and we have Rhyperior. So I'm really happy with this team overall. I think there's a lot of weaknesses that I tend to have in my drafts that I fixed this time. I have multiple rockers, I have multiple hazards, I have a couple of spinners slash defoggers, I have good fighting types this time rather than just tier 5 fighting types. I have Infernape and Conkeldurr, both very good fighting types, and I'm hopeful that this season we can pull off a really strong season, get playoffs, hopefully go quite far in the playoffs as well. So we'll go into the battle where we are up against MK Louis or MK Lewis. I'm not quite sure how it's pronounced. I think it's MK Louis or Louise. There's I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you for not being able to say your name, but I'm bad at names. He is the coach of the Garden City Gardevoirs, and he does actually have a Gardevoir. I believe it's a Mega Gardevoir because we have Standard Gardevoir, so he does actually have the mascot Mega like we do in the DGBA. So we'll have to see how he does with that. But if we look at my team, I have brought the Zygarde 50, and it is a fairly standard set all round. Just because I didn't want to bring anything too fancy first week, and also I wasn't entirely sure the skill level of everyone else in the league, because this is their second season. I am obviously a new coach to the league, but a lot of these guys have played each other before, and I am sort of the wild card. But we have Standard, Dragon Dance, Thousand Arrows, Outrage, Extreme Speed, Lumberry Zygarde with the Adamant Nature. We have a Scald, Ice Beam, Refresh and Recover competitive Milotic, max HP, max defense, bold with 4 in the special attack, with leftovers, mainly because I wanted to punish any potential sticky webs he has, which is looking like he might have because he does have the Araquanid. We have Firium Z Infernape, running the Iron Fist with Overheat, Close Combat, Earthquake and Stealth Rock, which is, this one is max speed with a hasty nature, max attack as well. So yeah, we're looking to catch that Kartana, I should say, with the Z Overheat. We have a Rocky Helmet Dhelmise with Rapid Spin, Power Whip, Anchor Shot and Shadow Claw, which is 248 HP, 252 Adamant Attack, and 8 in the special defense. We have Mega Scizor with Bullet Punch, Bug Bite, Roost and Pursuit. Pursuit was here partly for the Mega Gardevoir, also because he had a couple of other mons that would have to switch out on it. And then finally, of course, we do have the Stunfisk, Assault Vest like we normally end up using, with Discharge, Earth Power, Scald and Sludge Wave, full HP, full special attack, modest with 8 special defense. So let's get into the battle. And looking up, I assumed he would lead with his Araquanid to try and get the webs up as soon as possible, because he has a lot of potential sweepers in this team that are helped tremendously by the webs. So I lead off with our Jermoi. He goes for Sticky Web, I go for the Power Whip, doing a large chunk of damage to this Araquanid, doing 78%. And I don't know if he assumed that I was going to go for a Rapid Spin now, but I planned for this battle to go really aggressive, which is why I've got the team that I have, with like competitive Milotic and stuff. So I thought he might actually switch here into the Alolan Marowak or the Kartana to try and take the Power Whip. So I actually end up going for Shadow Claw, and he actually switches into the Mega Gardevoir. Obviously not Mega yet, but he switches into the Gardevoir, and we take it out turn 2 with a Jermoi Shadow Claw, which is huge for this battle. I then switch here from Jermoi into the Stunfisk as he goes into the Alolan Marowak. Goes for the Flare Blitz, does a lot of damage. We do actually let Stunfisk go down here, because even though he has a fairly decent matchup, I thought he was the best option to take that damage. We could have potentially gone into Milotic because we are the max defense, but I didn't want to take too much damage on the Milotic early on. We do have Recover, but I feel like we'd have kind of lost the element of surprise with a competitive boost and everything. So Stunfisk actually does go down there. Unfortunately, don't get a paralysis either. Now I go into Milotic, get that competitive boost from the webs. He goes into his Araquanid as I Scold. Does a fair chunk of damage, don't get the burn unfortunately. I do go for the Scold again. Unfortunately get the low roll this time, only doing 15%, as he goes for a Leech Life, but that does nothing against our bulky Milotic. And we go for the Scold again, and do actually get the KO this time on the Araquanid. So, and we still stay really full on HP, so looking really good at this point in the battle. Now, I kind of assumed that Kartana might be going for a Bloom Doom here, or at least going for a Leaf Blade, so I switch into the Jermoi, as he in fact does go for the Z move, and it is Z Bloom Doom. We take just under half from that, sorry, just over half from that. I stay in. He does go for a knockoff, unfortunately, but we do get a little bit of Rocky Helmet damage there. So I go into the best thing I have for taking a hit from this Kartana at the minute, which is the Scizor, as he does actually go for Sword Stance, which is a bit of a problem. I go for the Bug Bite, which does over half of his health. He goes for the knockoff, gets a crit, but that only does 3/4, so we get the kill on his Kartana there with the Mega Scizor. He goes into Alolan Marowak. I decide to let the Scizor go down. Go into Zygarde here. Obviously Lumberry are not sort of Yachi or anything. Not that obviously this is going to be Yachi, but I do have the problem of that Cloyster potentially being Ice Shard or something. Go for the 1,000 Arrows, knock out the Alolan Marowak. He then brings in Hawlucha, which I thought was an interesting one. It kind of confirmed to me that his Cloyster wasn't Ice Shard, which was nice. I decide to go for Extreme Speed against the Hawlucha as he goes for a Sky Attack. Gets a crit, but not important. That would have taken out the Zygarde anyway. He now has his Unburden boost, of course, but I go into Milotic here, get another competitive boost. And he actually goes for Sky Attack again. I have no idea why he went for Sky Attack again, because it is a 2-turn move. I then just take him out with a Scold. Didn't want to go for Ice Beam in case he switched into Cloyster. Scold is neutral, Ice Beam is resisted. But he's left with his Cloyster now. Goes for the Shell Smash. Uses his White Herb. I go for the Scold. does 74%, which is a hell of a lot of damage. He goes for Icicle Spear, and that's not doing anything to my physically defensive Milotic. And we go ahead and pick up the 2-0 win with another Scold. So a good week for Milotic, picking up 3 or 4 kills in the end. Jermoi getting that kill on Mega Gardevoir, coming in clutch as well, because turns out that the Mega Gardevoir was the only special attacker he brought, so having that max defense Milotic really put in work, and it's why I was kind of okay with letting the Stunfisk go down early, because obviously Stunfisk is more specially defensive than physically defensive, and since the Gardevoir was down, nothing else was going to be hitting on the special side. A little bit surprised he didn't bring special Cloyster, considering with the Shell Smash that can do a lot of work. But yeah, I'm happy with how this week went. I maybe could have preserved 1 or 2 differential by switching into Milotic a couple of times on the Alola Marowak, but it is what it is. I just wanted to secure the safe win, or the safe switches with the Milotic in the end, and we picked up the win, so can't complain at all really. A nice strong start to this new league. So next week we are up against a guy called Starving Pig, who has a interesting team with the Blacephalon, the Gliscor, Jolteon, Alolan Muck, Ditto, Alolan Executor, Mega Lopunny, Azumarill, Bronzong, Masquerain, and Klefki. So has quite a few hazards in there. Has quite a few floating mons as well. So Stunfisk might not be as handy to have. But I am noticing some key weaknesses in his team I will be hoping to exploit. But that is all for this week. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys this time next week for the week 2 battle of the DUC against Starving Pig. I'll